Ooh la la, Benoit.
It's finale week. Hi, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jane.
And this is Bitchin' Batch,
our weekly series where we talk about all the latest goings on in Bachelor Nation. And this week, we can finally get it over with. We're done with Bachelor in Paradise. It's the finale week. We don't have to deal with it for however long. No more.
So to start off, this was a pretty uneventful week, even though a lot happened. But it happened real quick, real fast, and to the point. Jordan gets a date card, and he asks Jenna, finally, and their date is to take engagement photos, wedding photos. Again, not wed. And then they play in the ocean while they're still in their clothing. This probably $1 million wedding gown is on Jenna, and they're just splashing it up. They are splashing each other. They are
a waste of
playing
money.
in the waves. They ruined that goddamn dress. Robbie shows up. Remember Robbie, who's been here and there, keeps cheating on everybody, is really the scum of the earth with hair to go with that.
I'm trying to do his hair.
But Shoshana likes him because she has no one else to like at this point.
It's just Robbie hair.
That is Robbie's hair. Since Shoshana likes Robbie, the girls all warn her that he's
A cheater.
trash and doesn't want to believe them, and that's the whole plot line of this episode. Diggy and John are fighting over Olivia because they're back from their date. Olivia's still not really sure, but then John brings her to this little place on the beach where he somehow grew sunflowers, and is like, you know what I love about sunflowers? They point to the sun, and you're the light of my life. And then they sit down and kiss, and then we see Diggy sitting on a chair with the trumpet being blown in his face. It has a mute, so it sounds nice. Here's the big moment, the big drama of this episode. Kendall and Joe. So Kendall pulls Joe aside to preface. Chris Harrison tells them that they either need to break up and leave or go to the fantasy suite. And that's the option. It's the last day of paradise. So it's time for Kendall and Joe to decide. And Kendall, sweet Kendall, goes to sweet grocery store Joe and tells him that she's not sure how he feels. Comes back at her and is like, you know exactly how I feel. You know that I'm in love with you. And I've been saying this for the entire time we've been here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, she's gone on a date with Leo and kissed Leo. She's kissed John. She's just been very emotionally distant. He's the one who's been a rock and who's been there for her the whole time. And all of a sudden she's like, you haven't told me how you feel. And he's like, I haven't told you how I feel.
And he gets really sad. However, Joe stands up for himself. He defends himself. He's the great little grocery store Joe that he is with his cute little dimples. But he leaves. And
So does she.
And that's the end of them. But wait. Olivia chooses John. Oh, so the rose ceremony happens, but you know, the typical people choose the typical people, and then Diggy goes home. We get to the fantasy suites. This is literally all that happens this episode. So we spend a whole lot of time on Kendall and Joe, and then all of a sudden, it's time to go to fantasy suites.
No, John and Olivia decide to leave separately. They decide they're not going to go to a fantasy suite, but they're still going to keep dating, so they leave together.
Same with, I believe, Shoshana and Robbie, but we never hear from them again. We never check in with them.
I wasn't really paying
probably
attention
not
to
dating
them
anymore. Neil asks Annalise to go to the fantasy suite, and guess who says yes? It's Annalise. And then we have something really terrible that happens. Kevin breaks up with Astrid, which is out of nowhere. He pulls her to the side and he says that he's not sure. The last time he was at the fantasy suite was with Ashley, and he keeps getting flashbacks to when that happened, and he's still pretty traumatized by the fact that he sees it as actually cheating on him. He's real distraught. He breaks up with Ashley. They
Breaks all of our hearts.
both go home. But more on that later. Jenna and Jordan are in love, obviously go to the fantasy suites, and so do Crystal and Chris. No surprise there. That's how we leave the episode.
And then it's time to check back in with everybody. It's like the women tell all, but it's like the everybody tell all.
So we open on the second episode, which is the three couples who went to the fantasy suites all go to that mysterious square, the podium, with 2 roses. First up, we have Annalise and Camille. Annalise is completely in love with Camille. They've known each other for probably 5 days. And she goes to the platform, expects him to propose to her, and he doesn't.
He says he loves her though, which I was like, you do?
Yeah, I thought this whole time that Annalise was like making it up in her head, and she just wanted it so badly, and he wasn't as into it. I guess he kind of was, but more on that one later. Jordan and Jenna get engaged.
We had such mixed feelings because of things we know later, but in the moment, it was really, really cute.
Some news came out in the past day.
My heart was broken.
After they got engaged, there was this cute little video about how they spent their next weekends, and they make a mood board situation for their wedding and their children, and they name all their children. And then this morning, some news broke that Jenna might have cheated on Jordan. But what leaked were some text messages from Jenna,
which she claims are fake.
She has an attorney now, and the attorney is going to fight these fake text messages. The texts say that Jenna is not really in love with Jordan, and that she is using him for the show, and for her image, and for marketing for her personal brand, to get more money and promote herself. To which I respond with, how is Jordan gonna get you more money? Jordan and Jenna have since broken up as of today, which is heartbreaking. But we're all there for Jordan. We are so here for him because he gave his entire heart to Jenna and was so into all of this and said that she was the one. He only wanted to be engaged one time. And it turns out she was probably playing him.
It just is so hard to believe because she looked so in love with him.
Yeah.
She always was giggling and her hands were shaking and she got the ring. She just seemed so happy with him. She's a really good actress if she was faking it the whole time.
So I don't really know what to believe, but both of them have posted their separate Instagram posts. Jenna's claiming that these are fake text messages, and then Jordan proclaiming that he lost the love. But that's all we really have to say about that. It's really hard to tell who to believe in this situation.
The alien and the puppy dog broke up.
Crystal Lovenier, as we continue on to
some
more couples. Crystal and Chris get engaged. That couple came out of nowhere. However, they seem to be genuinely very happy. First, Chris kind of phrases it like he's going to break up with her.
He said, I don't want to leave holding your hand. I want to leave holding your heart. And we were all like, whoa!
And then he proposed in ripped white jeans. And cut to later in the episode, Chris goes and he meets Crystal's family, aka her dogs. Crystal buys a rain bearer pillow and ties it onto the dog, and the dog's gonna walk down the aisle with it. But honestly, they seem pretty happy. I did dislike Chris for a long time, but I like Crystal a lot, so I really hope that it works out. Chris Harrison gives the both of them a, wait for it, crystal goose to put on their mantle.
Because her name is Crystal, and he's a goose.
We're still rolling with the goose thing. Chris Harrison introduces the all tell all section of the episode with, there's a lot to unpack here. What we start out with is John is the new kissing vampire because he kissed pretty much every single woman on that television show.
Yeah, anytime there was a new woman, they were like, why don't you go make out with John?
So Olivia kind of confronts him and says that they're no longer together because she felt like he wasn't totally into it when they were FaceTiming. And then she drops the bomb that he might have been FaceTiming Chelsea at the same time. And then we never go back to that ever again.
What's going on with John and Chelsea?
Then we go to Benoit and Jordan, and then they fight a little more. But realistically, no one cares about Benoit.
I think because Benoit doesn't totally speak English fluently, he thought that Jordan was being disrespectful to women by referring to Jenna as a snack and a meal, when really that's just like a saying that people are using these days.
Everyone applauded for Benoit because they were like, ah, yes, feminism. Benoit, the ultimate male feminist. We bring Astrid back to talk about the breakup. She's real upset about it, really confused, not sure what happened. But wait, there's more! Kevin is brought on stage, and he gives this really touching speech about why he broke up with Astrid. And this is the only time on this television show where a man has apologized, and I was like, yes, that was correct.
Good job.
What you did was wrong, and you have successfully redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
So Kevin says he goes to therapy and then talks it out about why he might have been afraid to go to the fantasy suite with Astrid. And he said that there was a lot loaded there because of what happened with him and Ashley, and that he had made a mistake. He apologizes, tells her he still loves her, and asks if she wants to continue being a couple, and she says yes.
They get back together.
They get back together.
It's really cute.
Now they're dating still. Let's hope. Let's hope nothing has happened in the last 24 hours.
I mean, we never know because Jenna and Jordan, it went real south real fast.
And we bring back Kendall. Kendall talks about how she messed up by breaking up with Joe. And then we learn that right after Kendall gets home, she just flies to Chicago. Joe asks her, "What are you doing in Chicago?" To which she explains that she did wrong by breaking up with him. And then they just tell us that they're still together and that they worked it out and they went on a date right afterwards in Chicago. They're trying to work it out. And then guess what Chris Harrison does? He's like, "Joe, how would you like to live closer to Kendall?" And he's like, "I'm interested." And then Chris Harrison says, "Good, because I got you a spot in Dancing with the Stars." Meanwhile, Joe's grocery store is probably falling apart. I don't know at this point what grocery store lets its manager go on The Bachelor and then also Dancing with the Stars. When has this ever happened? Do they have a new manager? Can someone let us know in the comments if Grocery Store Joe's grocery store is okay? Have the sales gone up? I want to know. The next big shocker. Annalise comes on and she starts speaking about how Camille's the one for her. That they're gonna get married sometime in the future. She sees proposal, kids, family, everything with Camille. Then Camille comes on and breaks up with her right on national television, which was really nice of him. And she, rightfully so, she cries. She goes off stage and she cries.
He acts like he's a victim. Like he's like, and again, I look like an awful person on television. He's not doing awful things on television.
And then she says something along the lines of like, they had booked an Airbnb the day before so that they could spend the entire week together. And then he decides to break up with her.
He also said that he had decided to break up with her 2 days ago, to which she replied, and we were all thinking, then why didn't you break up with me 2 days ago? Why couldn't you have just done it then instead of dumping me on national television?
But yeah. But Crystal and Chris do come back on stage, as we said before, and Chris cries a little bit, but he clearly very much loves Crystal. So we have one happy couple that is engaged. And
I was gonna say we have 2, but then I realized that the other one was Jenna and Jordan, and then I got sad. It wasn't who we thought it was gonna be. But
and 2 others that are still solidly together. I feel like at least Astrid and Kevin were engaged. Yeah, I can predict that. I don't know about Kendall and Joe. I feel like they'll last a while though.
Yeah.
But they seem happy.
Also, their lives are just kind of incompatible.
Yeah.
She's gonna have to move to Chicago, or he's gonna have to permanently move to Los Angeles, or they're gonna have to figure something else out. This has been season 5 of Bachelor in Paradise.
Thank you for coming along on the journey with us as we embarked on our first season of Bachelor in Paradise and our first season of Bitch and Batch.
Yeah. To quote Tia this episode, when Annalise came charging back at Camille, "Yes, bitch. Yes." Hi! So we haven't really officially said this on this channel, but we wanted to introduce ourselves. This is Lunar Buzz. Our first series was Bitch and Batch, where the 2 of us talk about the Bachelor franchise. This season was about Bachelor in Paradise. But we've got a bunch of ideas for future series that we want to work on.
This is kind of going to be a romance media themed channel. Right now we're going to start with some romantic comedies in between Bachelor seasons because, as we all know, we are in the rom-com renaissance and there's some exciting stuff that's just come out and will be coming out in the future in the genre of romantic comedies. And there are still the classics that I have never watched. We'll be bringing you some good old romance content.
For all of you who have been unlucky in love or a little jaded to love or don't want to hear about love, like, don't worry, we're gonna make it fun for you again. We're two single ladies, but that's not gonna stop us.
No, it's not.
We're gonna have fun doing this. You know what? It's whatever.
So stay tuned. We'll be starting in a few weeks with some good rom-com content. We'll tell you that Noah Centineo is definitely at the center of most of it. So if you're into him or if you're into that content, you will be into this content.
We're Lunar Buds.
Like and subscribe!